Hello, Leslie. Thank you for making the time. I appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Paul. How are you?
I am wonderful. I love the opportunity to do every single one of these. Let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Where in the country are you? How long have you been licensed for? What do you love about real estate? Just give me like the breakdown if someone asks
Sure.
about your business.
Sure. I'm in the Jackson, Mississippi area. So down in the hot South right now. I have been licensed for about a year and a half. I got my license and beginning training, and 2 weeks right after that, we shut down for COVID. So
That's
that
right.
was a great time to get into real estate. But things have certainly changed since then. And so just kind of picking up the pace with everything.
Yeah. Oh, I can't tell you how many agents we have that started right before COVID came. If you just started before COVID, that's the roughest time that I can ever imagine.
Right.
Okay. And what brokerage are you with, Leslie?
I'm kind of with a smaller brokerage. I'm with Insight Group Realty down here. So we have a combination of commercial and residential. So I'm one of the six residential agents that's on board there.
Awesome. I love working with boutique firm agents. It's great. And for anyone in Jackson, Mississippi, do you recommend the firm? Do you recommend the brokerage?
I love our firm, and our broker is wonderful, and he does 100% commission. So it's awesome.
Look at that. Nice transaction. That's what I
Yeah.
like there. Okay, dokie. And what about real estate so far? Do you love most?
I really love the relationships that I've had with my buyers and my sellers. That's probably my most favorite. My background is in psychology and counseling, and I certainly use that every single day in this industry. So that's really my favorite part.
Okay. Well, this is the part that most people watching will probably want to hear about, but it's like the how's it been so far kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask some pretty basic questions. Question number one is just how long have you been on with EstateNurture for?
Oh my goodness. I think I've only been on for about 3 weeks
Okay.
with
Wow,
Estate
this is
Nurture.
quick.
So really quick.
Okay, noted. 3 weeks. And talk to me about if we're having a case study, that means something good
Yeah,
happened in 3 weeks. So
sure.
talk to me about what's happened so far, what it's been like.
So about the third day that my ads were live, I had a phone call come through off one of the ads. I have a had a pre-approved buyer, very sweet first time buyer, which I really love to work with my first timers.
Awesome.
Was immediately showing her properties, and this past Sunday, in a multiple offer situation, we did get her under contract. So
Three
um,
weeks in.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's definitely been exciting. And of course, those don't come along all the time, but certainly that was awesome to have that happen. I've also been having some conversations with some potential buyers that have come through the lead system as well. So some folks working to get pre-approved, that kind of thing. So hopefully, there's more to come with
I
everything.
love that. Is
Yes.
there anyone else that's like come to mind right now that's like a super hot opportunity that's in your pipe right now?
I just spoke to one this morning. She didn't think she had the credit score, but once I kind of found out a little bit more information, she definitely does. And she's a first time buyer. Again, we have a grant program down here in Mississippi that will help first time buyers with kind of closing costs and down payment. So got her connected this morning with a lender that has a connection to that program as well. So and they're really itching to move. So she's tired of being in the rental game.
One of the perks to the way that we go about the advertising is that the top buying crowd in the market right now is the millennial, right? And I
Mhm.
think they make up for almost half at this point. 2 years ago was like a third, but almost half at this point of the buyers on the market. And so if you think about what millennials are doing, they're scrolling on social media. And so like you're gonna see if you're good with first time home buyers, you're gonna see a lot of really solid ones there. The one that just went under contract, do you mind if I ask what price it was? What price the house was?
Yes, so she's a single young lady, so not huge. So she got under at about 155,000. So but
Okay.
yeah, I will take it. Her parents really were impressed working with me that I wanted to protect her and get her into a really solid property. We have a lot of foundation issues in Mississippi, so trying to avoid those if we can. And just getting her into as safe of an area as we can because she does work late nights and coming home. So her parents, once we sort of met and we met at one house that wasn't going to work for her, but got her into the other one. Her parents were really glad that that I was kind of parenting her through the whole process.
Thank you for a lot of it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that's awesome. And then if I know this is a personal question, you don't have to ask it,
Mhm.
but on a 155, have you at least covered the investment that you've put into the program?
Oh yes, and more.
Oh, perfect. Cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
return on investment within 3 weeks, not even a month, 3 weeks, and then anything
Right.
else from here is just really grossing on top of that. So I love
That's
that.
right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And then I don't in Mississippi, what's the average house value that you're dealing with? What are you working with?
Yeah, average house value is about well, it seems to be creeping up. It was about 250. It's probably a little closer to 300 at this point,
Okay,
but about
cool.
250. Yeah.
And then to get everything that we've kind of talked about so far, in less than 3 weeks, what monthly ad spend or advertising budget are you using right now, Leslie?
Oh, I'm using doing the 300.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're not even running much, and you've gotten one within the first 3 weeks.
correct.
That's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it. Okie dokie. And then so when it comes to like not necessarily success, but just us in general, now that you're kind of on the inside scoop, how are you liking the CRM, the follow up that we do? How you like you have your own client success manager. Every client, customer that comes on with us, they have their own
Right.
client success manager. How are you liking the support that we offer?
Mhm.
Talk to me about your just overall experience so far.
Sure. So I love the technology. I'm not a huge technology person, but I certainly can recognize that the technology behind EstateNurture is really solid. The support that I'm getting to be able to see the conversations that are happening, to work with Kayla, to know that things are happening behind the scenes all the time, has just been amazing. So that's awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then when it comes to what you're doing so far. So I'll be candid, this, most clients, they don't come in within 3 weeks. I'll say most, probably like 60,
Right.
70% of clients don't get their first under contract in three
Right.
weeks. It's very fast,
Right.
especially in this market where it's so seller oriented
Hmm.
and multiple offers. Usually it takes a month to two for your actual return to come, like for,
Hmm.
to go into contract to close the deals.
Hmm.
What are you doing to get such quick results? What do you like, if you had to give like the one little secret formula that would help other agents working with us, what would you say?
Okay. Number one, I think answer your phone.
Uh-huh.
You're going to get a lot of folks that call you off the ad, and a lot of those, yes, are going to be folks looking to rent. They're going to be looking for other things that you might not necessarily be able to help them with. You might be able to guide them in a certain direction, but I would say if I hadn't answered that phone call, I would not be where I am today with that young lady under contract. She would have called someone else. There's enough agents out there. I think the other thing is because you can see those conversations going on, if you see someone who's really actively engaging, you can jump in as the agent and sort of take over the conversation, and try to get those folks, send them that list of houses, or, get them, go ahead and reach out to them and really get them on the phone. This is one of those industries that's sort of an opportunity industry. If they don't find the answer they're looking for in 2 minutes, they're probably going to go a different direction. So,
Well, I think the two things you said there are two things that I see agents not do all the time, right?
mhm,
And number one is I'm not kidding. I can't tell you how many agents ask us to turn to take off their phone number from the ad or whatever because they get phone calls and they're like, I don't want to
mhm,
like I don't want to get phone calls all day. And
right,
then anyone who doesn't want to get phone calls all day, like I've always said, it's a good problem to have. And
right,
anyone who's not working with us, know this: we're not trying to just get people to call you. It's not the intention
sure,
behind everything that we do, but it
sure,
is a positive, kind of secondary effect.
hmm,
And I see people get deals all the time from it, but I also see agents all the time saying like, I don't want people to call me. I don't, and I'm not kidding. We've actually gotten inside, like since we did a follow up, I see this. We get
hmm,
texts saying like, hey, I don't want to work with you. You were super rude when you answered the phone, or something like I've.
hmm, hmm,
If you're doing that effectively, that is a
hmm,
great tip and great takeaway for other agents to take. I love that.
yeah,
And then the other part is we are someone who books the appointments, right?
right,
But what I've always seen is the agents that really go above and beyond, they can tell when an appointment's about to be booked because they're going into the CRM, they're looking, and then they
right,
always put that little bit of extra touch in there just because,
hmm,
just exactly what you said, it's an opportunity kind of business, but it's also a saturated business where there's so many people that you really do have to always try to win in customer service because technically everyone's offering the same product, right?
that's right.
If
Yep.
everyone's offering the same product, the only thing that's going to change who they go with is the customer service really, or the experience that agent has in terms of helping the person. So I love that.
Right.
Why did you decide? Because I know you probably talked to other companies in the space.
Oh yeah.
Why did you decide to come on with us instead of someone else?
I think one of the biggest things was EstateNurture kind of puts their they really kind of confirm what you're saying. So, of course, I get a million phone calls of lead companies wanting to sell me their product. And of course, they would like me to put down a really big chunk of money without me being able to see any of the product, any of the demonstration, any of the parts. And, certainly there's been nightmares out there of folks that put a lot of money in and then 6 months later they're left going, okay, what did I spend this money on? So the fact that EstateNurture does a month by month, I'll be honest, for me was really attractive because I felt like, well, if you know what you're doing, you're willing to take the risk to go month to month, then why not take a shot? Because what can you really lose in that aspect? And then it was a really understandable system. So once everything was laid out by Kayla and all of the training that goes behind it, you know, having that one-on-one coaching, which normally a lot of lead agencies will just give us your money and that's the last you sort of hear from them. Really made a difference for me to kind of say yes to what you
You
have.
Yeah, and you mentioned the training. I'm guessing you mean six-figure agent
Yes,
account, right?
yes.
Has that been helpful at all to you in coming on?
So helpful. And I really like that it's broken down in very doable chunks. It's hard to sit down and watch like an hour-long video, but man, you're like, I've got 15 minutes or I've got 10 minutes. That's beautiful.
I love that. And
Yeah.
and being that you are, I don't want to say newer agent, but newer agents,
Sure.
a lot of agents think like I have enough training, I don't need to learn it. Can you just let them know that our training is not like the training you get for being a real estate agent or like
Right.
from most brokerages? It's a very personalized training to what we do.
Yes,
It's
it
not like
is. It absolutely is. I would say, even coming down to this, the minute part of looking at scripts or looking at really how to utilize the CRM and taking full advantage of that, all of those pieces of the training really help you to have a good understanding of kind of where you're going and the direction, hopefully, that you want to be moving in.
I
Yeah.
love that. But you said that, working with one-on-one with Kayla has been a huge help.
Yes.
Anyone like I don't think you've been with another company. I think we're your first company, correct?
Correct. Yes.
It's not normal to have a one-on-one person who's like really between. Are you on Telegram or Voxer with us?
Telegram.
So it's not normal to have like a text messaging thread essentially
Right.
with one-on-one. And then we have, I'm sure you know Alex in your chat who's
Yes.
messaging you every day saying like, hey, is there anything today we can do to help you? And then
Sure. Sure.
I think that's my favorite part as one of the owners of the company is how hands-on we are throughout the entire process. Because I do think realistically, if we didn't do that, you might not be able to have the success that you've had so far or continue the success because
Right.
so many agents will come on with the company and then just like you said, take them like the company takes the money and then it's kind of like, yo, we'll talk to you in a couple months and see if you want to spend more money. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you for making that note because that's big to me. That's one of my favorite notes about us. When it comes to just overall the process, do you think that the process is going to be something that like it worked first month and it like from here on out it might not, or do you see how the process will continually work to create like an actual pipeline of people that will be consistent business for you?
Yeah, I definitely do see that it kind of only gets better from here. And of course, I can make adjustments as I go to spend a little bit more on advertising or not, just kind of depending on the month. But having run my own Facebook ads in the past and having to do all of the follow up and all of the, understanding of what we're really talking about, this has just been such a huge relief off my shoulders that this is all kind of getting done for me behind the scenes. So I think for other agents to realize too, when you run Facebook ads and it's kind of a passive system, someone's sitting on the couch and they're scrolling, your return on investment, you got to get 100 folks before you can get that two or three that actually are ready and willing and wanting to move forward. So for me that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for, is doing having that type of flow.
On that note, so you just said relief because we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
How much time do you think when you were running your own ads, do you
Yeah.
think you were spending on the ads and the follow-up for all the leads that the ad were creating? Like how much time a week
Yeah.
do you think that we've actually kind of unloaded from your plate?
Oh my goodness, probably 4 hours a day at least, because I was calling and following up and doing all the individual texting. I didn't have a program to really do that. So I'm sitting on my phone doing it, or sitting and picking up the phone and making 20, 30 calls at a time. So I can't even tell you, my life has come back
Oh
from
my God.
this program. So yeah, yeah.
I love hearing that. That makes me that 4 hours a day. That is
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll give credit to you though, because I mean, most agents running their own ads, they're not even doing 4 hours a day worth of follow up. So like, good for
Right.
you on
Yeah.
that. And then on the like, let's talk about both. When it comes to number one, I'm guessing that the follow up has been solid since from everything that we've
Mhm.
seen so far. But on the ad side, since you were running your own ads, have you seen an increase in performance on the ad side with us versus when you did it on your own?
Yes. So I think in the past, my metrics looked like if I was doing one small ad and doing it by myself, I may get, oh gosh, 20 to 25 leads from that ad. And I know, like, just looking at my numbers today, like, I think that's at least double, and Kayla can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean, just the consistency. I mean, we're getting many, many, many leads coming in during the day. So my phone's pinging off all the time. Yeah.
I love that. And overall, it just sounds like it's like, I love taking credit where credit is due, right?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
doing a great job, but it also sounds like you've done a really good job in making sure that you're doing the things you need to do to succeed from the program. I've always said that people that succeed with us would really succeed anywhere with anyone. And
Yeah.
so I think if you worked with any company in the space, you probably would have found success. It just comes down to making sure that you're working with one that fits well with your business,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
I appreciate you coming on. My last question is, do you recommend EstateNurture?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even for a new agent that I know it's a little scary when you have to make that first investment of money into your business. But I would say this is a well worth it type of place to put your money. And in real estate, I think that is scary because, you can put your name on shopping carts at the local grocery store, or you can spend big money at the billboard, doing a billboard, but you never quite know what your return on investment is going to be. So it can be a little bit scary. But I would say, even for a new agent, to be able to get involved with this and have this kind of program behind you, it's been incredible.
I love that. I love hearing that. And just know, for you and anyone watching this, your first month, even though it's been good, is
Yeah,
always worse than your third month. Your third month
yeah,
is not even as good as your sixth month, right? It always,
right.
like you said, it gets better and better and better
Hmm.
because we keep following up. We keep kind of retargeting with the ads, if you will. We build this audience, nurture this audience, and all that nurturing turns into getting a higher appointment percentage every single month. And so
Right.
if you've had a great month number one, I can't wait to see, and we'll probably do an update with this a month, 2, 3, whatever, as you go on, how it goes. So Leslie, thank you so much for taking the time. Is it okay if an agent ever watches this and watches this and wants to ask a question? Is it okay if they reach out to you?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Cool.
Yeah.
Leslie, we appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. Leslie in
Thank you.
Jackson, Mississippi.